challenge of our current turbulent time is that we take our eyes off what we have to face every day, that there are families who need parents and income and a backup. The biggest risk is not out there where the risk to us might be 1 in 400,010. The biggest risk is that we all have a 1 in 10 chance of passing away early, a 1 in 3 chance of having a significant illness, or, as it was for me, a 1 in 4 chance of having a sickness or a disability that will stop you working. I know what it's like. This is not sales. This is a harsh reality, and you've got to assess where you're at right now.
So one of the biggest things is don't panic. The reason I'm doing this show is so you can actually understand where you are at the moment, because when you know where the gaps are, then you know how to fill the gaps.
That's right.
So you may not have things in place at the moment. That is okay. Just know where your gaps are, and this is why I'm doing the show tonight, so we can look at that. Okay, thank you for that. And also you were, just one thing, Drew, before I move on, you were also saying how to make sure that you do have your life insurance, your will, your power of attorney or power of enduring attorney, and income protection as well. So these are things that you guys can write down and talk to your insurance person about as well.
Absolutely. And just on the idea of what is a power of attorney and when would you use it? You would use it if you are in lockdown and you need someone else to act on your behalf with a bank or a real estate agent or a leasing agent, something like that. Today is exactly the example of why you need to have a written power of attorney for your family and your business.
You know,
right now, we can see it.
Yeah, no, we have enduring power of attorneys, but I've just kind of thought, where are they? I need to actually have them on hand just to be able to, like, I have a feeling I know where they are, but I actually need to have it here and not in someone else's home. So it's quite interesting. Thank you for that, Drew. Tracy, just before we start with you, I'm just going to go over to Nikki for a sec. So if she isn't, and see if there's any comments. Nikki? Hello?
Hello? Hello?
Hello? Have we got any comments at the moment?
We have no comments at this point in time yet.
Okay, not a problem. Not a problem. Thank you for that.
That's my pleasure.
Okay, we've muted her. We do have a couple of hellos, though, from Marissa and from Aggie, and I can see that Debbie and Marty are on as well. So hello, guys, and welcome. Nice. Okay. Tracy, let's have a look at from a digital audit perspective.
Yeah, it's an interesting one, isn't it? So there's, you know, the guys have spoken about the really kind of hardcore stuff that is taking up a lot of brain space right now. Yeah. But the other thing we need to be considering is how do we maintain some kind of business as usual while all this is going on? Have we got the capabilities to transition online? If so, what does that look like? Do you have teams of people that you need to get online? Do you have contractors? How are you going to tell your clients what you're doing? There's a whole bunch of kind of stuff that's just rattling around in our heads right now about, you know, what we need to do. So right now, from a digital point of view, you need to just look at, you know, what have you got in place right now? So the first thing I say to people is, you'd be surprised how much technology you've actually already gathered around your business over the years without even kind of thinking that it's tech. So just assess what you've got in place. Is it laptops? Is it desktops? You know, have you got smartphones? Are you using email? Are you using social media? Have you got a website? Are you working in the cloud? Once you know that, then you know what needs to be transitioned, and you know how you can do that. You also need to know what type of business are you in. If you're in professional services versus retail versus, you know, a service-based industry, right now you might be going through a holy shit moment. I need a e-commerce platform off the back of my site because retail's going into some kind of, you know, lockdown period potentially. How do my clients still work with me? I do a lot of work with hospitality, and you know, as you're dining on your pizza, clearly your guys were ahead of the curve and have that built into their website. That's why they're still delivering pizza. You know, I was chatting to a coffee roaster today. The coffee roaster deals mainly with wholesale, but their system has been, oh, well, clients just call us or they email us and put the orders in. So, you know, we're quickly having to kind of put some stopgap measures in place to make sure there's a process and procedure to capture that and they're not losing sales. So
we're really changing into a digital world, huh?
Pardon?
We're really changing into a digital world.
Oh, totally.
Overnight.
Totally. You know, in the last week, I've helped a yoga studio get online. I've helped a couple of coffee shops still be able to deliver coffees and create muffins that can be delivered and those kinds of things. I'm working with councils. You know, don't beat yourself up. The worst offenders I have seen in the last week are local and state government.
Yeah.
There is no capacity for those guys to work online. The ATO, 20% of their current workforce have the ability to work from home.
Wow. Well, that'll be changing very, very soon with these people.
Indeed, but you know, we're kind of out of monitors. You know, we're running out of monitors because the big companies are suddenly going, crap, I need to get my people working at home and they're used to 2 screens. You know, we need to get them set up with monitors. So the big thing that we as small business owners have going for us is agility.
Yeah.
We can tack and change and move with the times quicker than any government department, than any corporation. We can, you know, wake up tomorrow morning after the PM's delivered his latest round of National Cabinet. You know, it's 30 minutes for a hairdresser, it's 15 minutes, it's 2 hours, whatever it's going to be, and put those things in place overnight and wake up to the new world in the morning and just keep going. Sure, we're taking emotional hits, sure, we're taking everything else, but we can keep some dollars coming in. We can keep, you know, keep going.
Well, that's it. And that's what's really, really important too, is that, you know, we are changing more than any time in my life that we've changed. It's the quickest change. So we really need to take a step back and we need to see and do an audit of what we do have and what we need to where we need to go. That's really, really important because
it's
if
really
we're just...
Sorry, Deb, it's really basic stuff. People need to get very clear on where they are now, what they need to do to keep their business going and where they want to be post COVID-19, because good times will come again. And you know, we need to have some hope with that. So it really is this idea of getting a very, very clear point, like what's the picture of my business now, right now? What's my online capability? What's the product I sell? What's the problem I solve? Who do I solve it for? How do I charge them? How do I deliver it? All the basic questions now. And where do I want to be in the next 90 days? Because my firm belief is all small businesses have got 90 to 120 days to reset and reconfigure themselves so they're on a growth path for the rest of it. Those that don't do that are either going to fall off the edge or they're just going to hold on tight. And when this finishes, whether it's 6 months, 12 months, say it's 2 years. So that's 2 years before we get a normality. They'll be in the same spot in 2 years' time where they were today. So they've wasted 2 years of growth. So it's so important. I mean, what both Drew and Tracy are drawing attention to, and people shouldn't go, oh my God, I don't have any of that, and add to their overwhelm.
That's what we're all here for.
80% of small businesses still don't have a website beyond one that the Yellow Pages or someone's done, right? 67% of small businesses do not even have any income protection insurance. I think Drew would know the figures better than I, but there are these huge gaps. Now, Tracy will tell you, the online capability, it is easier now than any other time in human history for a small business person to run from an office like this and have clients globally. And yet so many people don't do it because they're scared or they're not sure or they haven't had the right advice. So we can actually, you know, this agility for small business, for small business and SMEs is a huge thing. We are better positioned to survive and thrive this thing than the big corporations. You know, Solomon Lew is refusing to pay rent at 1,250 shopping centres because his retail empire's foot traffic's dropped by 90%, right? All the rivers, there's 1,400 stores closed today. Johnny Big, who happens to be a clothing brand I like and I buy some stuff from, sent me a great email today that basically said, we're shutting our stores on Friday, but you know what? Online's still going, and here's a 30% off voucher to get you to buy something online.